Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you're hoping to build a life with your partner in Australia. That's fantastic. But to do that, you've got to navigate the Subclass 820 visa, and that can feel complicated. Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut right through all the jargon and give you the clear, simple info you actually need, all straight from the official government sources.
I mean, if you're here, it's pretty safe to say this is the dream, right? Building that future together in Australia, it's an amazing goal, and figuring out the visa process is really the first major step to making that dream your reality. So, let's get you started on the right foot. All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the basics. What even is the 820 visa? Then we'll get into the key numbers, cost and timing. We'll look at what your life actually looks like once you have it. Then the big one, are you eligible? And we'll wrap up with the single most important thing to remember.
So, first things first, what exactly is this visa? It is so important to get this right from the start, because the 80-20 visa isn't the finish line. Nope, it's the very first crucial step on your journey toward becoming a permanent resident. Okay, let's break it down. Officially, it's a temporary visa. It's for people who are either married to or are in a de facto relationship with an Australian partner. And de facto just means you're in a serious, committed relationship and live together, but you haven't tied the knot. So really, you can think of this visa as the bridge. It lets you live here, in Australia, while the government processes your application for a permanent visa. And this is how it works. It's actually a two-stage process, but you apply for both visas at the same time, with one application and one fee. You start with the temporary 820 visa. Once you get that, it allows you to live and work in Australia while you wait for the final decision on your permanent 801 visa. The 820 is that critical first part of the puzzle.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the stuff everyone really wants to know. How much is this going to cost, and how long is it going to take? These are usually the two biggest questions on everyone's mind.
So, the cost. For most people, it starts at over 9,000 Australian dollars. And yes, that's a pretty hefty price tag, but it's important to remember that this one fee covers both your temporary and your permanent visa applications. It's a two-for-one deal, essentially. Now, if you happen to be holding a prospective marriage visa, that fee is quite a bit lower.
Now for the million-dollar question. How long do you have to wait? Well, there's no single easy answer. The processing times change all the time. Your absolute best bet is to go straight to the source. Use the official visa processing time tool on the Department of Home Affairs website. That'll give you the most current estimates.
And please remember this. This is a direct quote from the department itself. The times you see online are just a guide. They're not a guarantee for your specific application. Why? Well, things like how many applications they're getting at that moment, or if your case has some complex parts to it, can really change the timeline. So the takeaway here is to be prepared to be patient. It's absolutely key.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about the good stuff. Once you get through the application and the waiting, what does your life actually look like with an 820 visa? What doors does it really open for you?
Honestly, this visa is a complete game changer. It basically unlocks your life here. You can live anywhere in Australia, you have full rights to work and study, you can travel in and out of the country as much as you want, plus you can access free English classes if you're eligible. And, maybe most importantly, you can apply for Medicare, Australia's public healthcare system. It gives you that stability and peace of mind while you're on the path to permanent residency.
Now we've arrived at the most critical part of this whole conversation. Eligibility. Before you invest all that time, emotion, and money, you have to be really sure that you meet the fundamental requirements. So let's walk through them.
So as we go through this next part, I want you to really think about your own personal situation. Do you and your partner actually tick these essential boxes?
It really boils down to three main pillars. First, the relationship. It absolutely must be genuine and continuing. Second, the sponsorship. Your partner has to be an Australian citizen, a permanent resident, or an eligible New Zealand citizen, and they have to agree to sponsor you. And third, your location. This one is non-negotiable. You must be physically in Australia when you submit your application. That's a strict rule for the 820 visa.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of our explainer. And if you only remember one single thing from our chat today, I want it to be this next point. This is the big picture concept you need to hold on to.
Here it is. The 820 visa is not the destination. It is the bridge that gets you to a permanent future in Australia. It's that vital, essential first step that lets you get on with your life here, together, while you're on that journey toward the permanent 801 visa.
And so that brings us right back to you. Now that you have this information, you can really think about your own path.
Is this partner visa pathway the right next step for you and your partner to officially begin building your future together right here in Australia?